Welcome to New Possibilities. I speak truth to power without fear. So, according to CBS News, Milwaukee Sheriff David Clarke has been appointed Assistant Secretary in the Department of Homeland Security. This is something that is very serious. It shouldn't be taken lightly, and I'm going to talk about the implications of this. First of all, this man is not fit to lead in the Department of Homeland Security for a couple of reasons. Number one, he has a poor track record when it comes to leadership. Anyone who studied what's going on at the Milwaukee County jail system understands what I'm talking about. One of the prisoners there was deprived of water for 7 days, and as a result, that prisoner died. And now 7 of the people at that prison have been charged with criminal violations. Now, this is an institution that Sheriff Clarke manages. And according to some of the reports that I read, deprivation of water is a tactic that they use at that jail to punish prisoners for bad conduct. Now, if this man allowed something like that to happen on his watch, allowed a prisoner to be deprived of water for 7 days to the point that that prisoner dies, how does that qualify this man to be a leader in the Department of Homeland Security? Second, this is a prime example of a coon, a Sambo, of a Uncle Tom or Uncle Ruckus being rewarded for selling out his own people. This man has attacked Black Lives Matter as a terrorist group, as a terrorist movement, as a hate group, as having a hateful ideology. And Black Lives Matter is not a hate group. It is a group that is fighting against police brutality, fighting against police that kill Black people with impunity on a daily basis. This man has made anti-Muslim statements, according to the reports that I've read, talking about patrolling Muslim neighborhoods. This man has made anti-immigrant statements. And in the face of the brutality that our people face at the hands of these stinking cops, this man had the nerve, had the audacity to say that police brutality does not exist in the face of a Michael Brown, in the face of an Alton Sterling, in the face of a Philando Castile, in the face of a Sam Dubose, and the list goes on and on of the victims. Terrence Crutcher, he was killed by a cop, and his killer is on trial right now. In the face of all this brutality, in the face of all these modern day lynchings, you have this buck dancing, shoe shining coon talking about how police brutality doesn't exist, saying that there is no police brutality. This man is not fit to lead anything, much less the Department of Homeland Security. And, this is a prime example of how these right wingers, they use diversity as a weapon against Black and minority people in this country. They put these tokens in place so that they can say that they have a policy that promotes diversity, but they use these tokens. They use these pawns. They use these Negro peons and mouthpieces as weapons against Black people. And that's what they're using this guy as. The only reason why this guy has received notoriety is because he bashes his own people, because he unconditionally defends police that kill our people. That's the only reason why this guy has been placed on all these news networks, given a platform to spew his nonsense. This is a nobody sheriff from Milwaukee who has been given a national platform because he bashes his own people and defends these police who are killing our people, who are lynching our people. That's the only reason why this stinking coon sheriff has been given a national platform, and it's the only reason why he's been appointed to this position, because of his cooning, because of him selling out and being a vocal voice against his own people. This fool had the nerve to compare a racist like Donald Trump to the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. This guy is a complete idiot. And this is not just a matter of him making statements. There are implications to these statements. This man is no longer going to just be some sheriff in Milwaukee. This man is going to be responsible for national security. And that should be frightening to anyone with any ounce of intelligence if you understand the history of the COINTEL program. This man has labeled people who are fighting for social justice in this society. He has labeled them as terrorists. He has labeled them as hate groups. And those labels come with power. Power comes with those labels. Power to destroy people comes with those labels. Remember, they labeled the Black Panther Party a black nationalist hate group, and other groups, they applied similar labels to those groups as well. They labeled the radical left. And after labeling these groups, they targeted these groups for destruction. They targeted them for neutralization. They targeted them for arrest and harassment and even assassination. So to have this man in this position, it's going to be detrimental to the social justice movement in this country. It's going to be detrimental to Black Lives Matter. You know, groups like Black Lives Matter have already been under surveillance in places like New York City. Those places are on record saying that they have been monitoring Black Lives Matter. Even under the Obama administration, they have been monitoring groups like Black Lives Matter. But now that you have this fanatic, this nut in the Department of Homeland Security, what does that mean about Black security? What does that mean about those of us who express our views on social media? What does it mean for the organizers who are fighting against police brutality? All we can do is look back at history, look back at what happened to Fred Hampton. They labeled the Black Panther group a hate group. The FBI targeted the Black Panthers and they destroyed the Black Panthers, shooting and killing Fred Hampton and Mark Clark in the early hours of the morning. Shooting them and killing them. You know, Fred Hampton was lying in a pool of blood, riddled with bullets. You know, so many Black Panthers are still behind bars today. I was watching a documentary on the Black Panthers not too long ago, and they said like 20 Black Panthers remain behind bars today. They waged all-out war against the Black Panthers. And I would not be surprised if they don't use this Negro mouthpiece to wage all-out war against the social justice movement in this country, especially at a time when people are rising up against this right-wing Trump administration, especially at a time when you see cities outraged about police killings, when you see the people demonstrating in the streets. What better way to deal with them than to have this token house Negro Sambo in this key position of law enforcement? So he's not just somebody in Milwaukee anymore. He's somebody in charge of law enforcement for this nation. So we should all be troubled by this. So tell me what y'all think. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. Peace.